Thomas Tuchel coming out fighting yesterday. After that game, he insisted he wouldn't be swayed by pressure from club managers to give their players a rest against sides like tonight's 140th ranked opponents, Latvia. Will we get a bit more excitement? Tonight, no better person to answer those questions than the former England captain and Nottingham Forest legend, Stuart Pearce. Morning, Stu.
Morning, Piercy.
How you doing? Hi, Gab.
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. Hey, before we talk England, so you took in 3 non-league games in the same day. What were they?
I did. Where were we? Benfleet first off for a 12 o'clock kick-off, and then on to Buckhurst Hill, finishing off at Takeley, which is out near Stansted. So that was on Saturday, and then finished that off with a gig at the Roundhouse afterwards. So a full day on Saturday, my friend.
Brilliant, mate. I've got to mention at this stage, Hartlepool will beat Boston United 4-1 on Saturday. So pleased for Anthony Limbrick,
Lovely.
Who's the coach there. Brilliant. Are you a Madness fan, by the way, Stu?
Of course.
Think that Thomas Tuchel will change things round tonight? Will he have been a bit underwhelmed by the performance?
I would think so. I mean, let's be honest with you, Jeff. Leading into the game, we were promised the Sex Pistols and got George Benson for high octane excitement on Friday night. I hope he turns that on its head a little bit. I was just a little bit disappointed. Maybe the boys in wide areas a little bit, not being as offensive as they could have been.
Yes.
I'll throw in the mix as well there. Probably Cole Walker could have got forward and maybe delivered the odd cross himself as well. But I think he's got a good reference point now, the manager, and it'll be something good for him to have a good look at the team, have a look at the performance. We'll take the result all day and a clean sheet, but we need probably to certainly win the game, but come out maybe. Let's get on the front foot a little bit more and let's hurt the opposition a little bit more.
I think as well, Peace, you're watching the game. Yes, we wasn't at our best, but there were a lot of pluses for me. I felt Lewis Skelly at left back. I felt Konsa looked strong as well. Bellingham, especially with that pass for the first goal, looked strong. Harry Kane, I haven't seen him pressed like that for a while. But the one that stands out for me that isn't a plus is Foden. That's four goals in 44 England games now. Is he in danger of going down the pecking order, Piercy?
Well, there's no doubt about that. I think you make a really good point there, Gabby, saying there's a lot more positives than negatives,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's important that we do touch on that. The other side of that is I think Phil, we might look at Phil in this structure that we play. Maybe it's a case of looking at him and saying, look, I'm not sure you're best suited on one of the flanks.
Yes.
If we're going to get the ball in wide areas and those wide players get on their half turn and go and take their fullbacks on, because in a deep block, maybe that's where the only room is, then maybe it's not Phil Foden in that wide area. It's a more of an out-and-out winger type player, So maybe it's either or for Phil, playing more inside or not playing, That might be the choice now.
I'm sure as an ex-Forest man yourself, you'd love to see Morgan Gibbs-White get a run tonight.
Without a doubt, Jeff. I mean, I think he's been outstanding for Forest this year. His energy going forward in finding a pass, in creation, is there all to see. I'll tell you what, his work rate going back towards his own goal at club level has been outstanding as well. So his attitude, obviously, I heard you mention there, Thomas, was really impressed with his attitude, not being picked first time round, but he's met up. I hope he's part and parcel of tonight in some way, shape or form. I'm not sure he'll start, but I think he might come off the bench and contribute.
Piercy, what do you think of the manager calling out players that maybe didn't do exactly what he would have wanted, like Rashford and Foden? I think it's a good thing because it sets a standard for the other players now. If you're not doing exactly what I say and you're not taking players on when I'm telling you to, then maybe you won't be getting the chances in the future.
Yeah, I think it's just people being honest with each other, and that's a healthy thing to happen, I don't see it as criticism, it's just factual, The first people that will know that they probably didn't deliver the performance are the players themselves, Gab, you know that. So I don't think it's a bad thing. He'll back that up behind the scenes, talking to the players, showing them the clips, saying, look, this is what I expected of you and this is what you delivered. That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's healthy.
Definitely.
And he wasn't overly harsh on them either, was he? It was a sort of measured criticism. But talking of criticism, he's going to learn pretty quickly, isn't he, that we have to roll teams over like Latvia if we want to keep the fans on side?
Yeah, I think so, Jeff. I mean, it's the bar's high when you're representing your country. There's no doubt about that. Winning isn't good enough on occasion. You know what I mean? You've got to deliver a performance that excites the crowd and all of those type of things. The beauty of it is England can play half-cocked and still win matches in qualification, which is a good thing. The other side of that is you just want to see the players be a bit more forthright and look to play those forward passes a little bit more often. When we did put the ball in the opposition's box, Lewis Skelly got his goal and they looked, there was panic stations, and we need to do that a little bit more regularly for me.
You coached Jarrod Bowen. He's someone I want to see tonight, Pearcey, because he will get at you when he inside and down the line.
Well, he's one of those type of players we're talking about in these wide areas that fits the category of a winger type, that will get turned, that will run with and without the ball in behind. And I think we need to encourage that. And it's not just something I'm saying on the back of Friday. I said it last summer at the tournament that in these wide areas, we need players out of the like of Gordon and people like that are actually going to turn and take a full back on.
Totally
Stuart, brilliant, mate. Enjoy the game this evening. Thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, PC.
Will do. Take care, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Man.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.